Okay, then the title here. First I will say that for the people that do not know me, my name is Irini Angelidaki, and I'm supervisor, the main supervisor of ESR3, who is in Padua at the moment. And I know your university very well. I would have been very happy to be there. However, it was a little bit difficult this time, but I hope that next time I can meet you all in person. So now we'll go to the presentation. We have very short time. So the title is Development and Experimental Assessment of a Modeling Approach for Nutrient Light Interactions, Description of Optimization. The objectives of this ESR3, who is last, he's there now, is to elucidate interactions between light, nutrients in respect to microalgae growth via experimental investigations. The second work package is a high number of experiments. We'll do that in micro titer plates and flasks, 8 flasks. The second is to formulate and validate a usable model to describe those growth interdependencies. We will obtain a robust set of data from photobioreactor cultivations for modeling purposes. And the third objective is the assessment of wireless illumination technology from optimal growth, optimal low energy intensity control. These are our 3 inputs. So the way we're going to work is to somehow have a lot of experiments in micro titer plates to see how to do a lot of screenings on different conditions. That means here we will try to address the different objectives, for instance, different lights, different wavelengths, different nitrogen sources, different nitrogen levels, and then determine growth rates, but also we're going to follow different fluorescence, like a chlorophyll, different wavelengths measurements to determine different parameters, both in respect to growth rates, but also if we can attack in that way to see production of various pigments rates. So this is the methodology. So from here you can see that we have the microtiter screenings, that we have the possibility to make simultaneous a lot of screenings to determine parameters. And then from there, from these results, we will select some of them because we can have a lot of simultaneous screenings here in microtiter plates. Then we move to flasks. And from there, selective ones, we will move in different photobioreactors. This is flat panel or pond-like photobioreactors to somehow establish the parameters. We are here, the ESR3, and the ESR3 is going to actually interact with ESR, I mean, with all, of course, with the ITN school, but specifically with ESR number 13, in collaboration to determine the optimal operational conditions, and then also input of data to ESR4, input for metabolic flux model, and also we get data from ESR6. So there is a network of collaboration here. The ESR is going to interact with the other ESRs. But our main objective is actually to collect a lot of data which will be provided to other ESRs, and at the same to somehow put this data in a kind of, we will describe them in a model to somehow expose how this microalgae will grow at the different conditions, different light conditions, but also nutrient conditions to describe them in a model. So here you can see the deliverables that they are actually due in month 30. So quantification of the nutrients effect on growth, protocol of optimization of metabolic process, and we're also going to contribute to prototype of wireless illumination technology in photobioreactors. So that means in this specific case, we're going to somehow have floating LCDs in the photobioreactor. So to test that in order to see, to decrease the distance of light, so to have more effective light. We have previously in my group tested that in a kind of preliminary investigation. We had a lot of technical problems. So in this specific PhD now in this ESR, we're going to refine this one to somehow develop a novel way of providing light. So you can have an electromagnetic stream around the photoreactor, and there float in different levels some illumination sources within the photoreactor, which can provide them at optimal conditions in order to decrease the energy demand for this, for cultivation of the microalgae. Here you can see Lars Sebastian Stigemüller, who is the ESR. He already has started recently. He has just hardly actually begun 1 month ago. He's there now, so he can meet all the other ESRs, and I hope that we can really make a very strong unity, these ESRs, and work well together. This is a very important output of the ITN school. Lars, he can tell it himself, of course, but he has very strong background, and also he has experience in microalgae, which is an extreme advantage for this process. So a project, so he can immediately start working. And I have very good impression of his capabilities already, so I'm very happy to have him in the group here. And that's the presentation from the Technical University of Denmark. And you are welcome to ask questions if you want.